Oh, we've done that before, haven't we? Um, so this is our employer network launch. But at the end of it, I want you to tell us how we did. We'll be doing some follow-up with lots of links to anything that we talk about today. So absolutely kind of concentrating, don't have to take notes. We will fill you in on the stuff we're going to talk about following the session. Um, we'll also send the recording to anybody who's not able to be with us today, but has signed up, or if you want to go back and look at anything that you've missed. So hello from me. My name's Michelle Dow, if you didn't know already, and I'm the managing director of All About Futures and our sister company, All About STEM. We've got some new people on the call today. It's been really nice over the summer holidays to see more and more people join the employer network. So if this is your first time at one of these sessions, welcome. Um, we we've been doing this for 12 months and it's been phenomenal. When if you'd have said to me 12 months ago what we would have achieved, I I really wouldn't have thought we'd been here. So I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a recap for our new people and for the people that have been with us since the beginning of the sessions. So we're 12 months down the line. Our Liverpool City Region Employee Network has got 170 members. We've got 170 people signed up to the network, and we had to do a little bit of a dig into that as well because we wanted to see, like, is that 170 individual people, 170 employers? But no, it's actually 110 employers, which I think you can all see are brilliant numbers, and the sharing that's gone on across employers, across members has been fabulous. So last year we did 6 master classes. We did stuff like engaging with schools and colleges, using outreach as a recruitment tool. We had a great session on inclusivity and diversity in schools by the lovely Claire Caddick from the hub. Um, we did a nice session on social value, on the kind of value to your organizations of schools and college outreaches. Um, uh, and we've had lots and lots of kind of spin-off discussions, emails, networking, and people getting involved in lots of the things across the region. Um, one of the things we did quite early on, as an organisation, one of the things that we're responsible for is talking about apprenticeships in general to year 10 and above across the Liverpool City region and beyond. And one of the things that we wanted to do was a parent session, and actually we've done quite a few parent sessions because, as you all are aware, influences of young people are as important as getting information to our young people as well. And we did a shout out across the employer network, and that was really nice. I'm just going to give I'm not sure whether Melissa's on the call. A lovely thanks to Melissa at Matalan who came along for that parent session.
I am.
Um,
Hello.
Thank you, thank you. So there's been lots of kind of spin-offs. I know people have signed up to the Give an Hour program, and there's been lots of kind of cross discussions. We've kind of sat in the middle where people have said, "Oh, I want to learn a little bit more about that," and we've kind of introduced people. Um, it's been a really exciting year, and it's just the start. Um, One of the spin-offs that, again, we didn't think about 12 months ago is actually, as part of the employee network, a group of companies from the gaming industry have come together, and we've worked with them as well over the last 12 months to put together a pledge around games careers in the Liverpool City region. Um, what an amazing group of people, super enthusiastic. I think we've got some of the companies, some of the studios on the call, and that was launched again with the support of Mayor Rotherham and obviously hand in hand with the Liverpool City Region Careers Hub as well. If you haven't seen that, if you haven't seen that initiative and what we've done there, or if you think we could do something similar in your sector, please get in touch. There's loads of info on LinkedIn, and there's lots more to come. As always, the problem with me and the stuff that we talk about, I could talk about each one of these for for an hour, and it's not all about me this session. Um, but I want to kind of start our launch with taking a little bit of a step back and go, why? Why are we doing this? Um, we've got like 35 people on a call here. We're all busy. We're all a bit fed up of Zooms, if we're all being honest. Why are we here? And I think I just wanted to like pop a few bullet points down and talk through them to give us a reminder why we're collectively coming together as an employer network to make a difference to young people in our Liverpool City region. Because sometimes us as an organisation that does outreach with schools and colleges, we're seen as the nice to do. Oh, they do lovely work. They do nice work with the kids. Um, and that's true. But actually, there's an absolute economic benefit around the stuff that we're doing. So I wanted to kind of just do a little focus on the why, because the other side of this is when you're engaging with schools and colleges, it can be quite hard to measure. I believe Einstein said, "Not all that is counted counts, and not all that can be counted counts." So when we say we're working with young people in schools and colleges, like how do you measure that magic? How do you measure that inspiration? Social value, we touched on it in one of our masterclasses. You can actually put a pound sign around things like careers, going in and giving careers advice in schools or doing work experience and stuff like that. There is an absolute social return on investment for employers, and I think if you've done it in your own companies, you'll see the kind of spin-offs and the actual monetary value of what engagement does. We did a session on diversity. It's so important for us to be talking about the industries in the Liverpool City region to all our young people. So that whole "if they can't see it, they can't be it" is critical. From primary school all the way up to choosing a job career. Um, the flip side of engaging with young people is, and I've put it at the bottom a little bit, like joy. Joy, fun. It's good. It's good for the soul. The kind of employee satisfaction that you get going to some people would disagree with me. I'm going to change my mind a little bit. It's actually quite hard to do a presentation in front of 15-year-olds sometimes. If you've ever done a presentation for 15-year-olds, they can be quite grumpy. But actually, the light bulb that you can see that's going on, it does give you that little bit of joy, that little bit like, I understand why I'm kind of doing this. One of the organisations that we work with, Unilever, what they've found in their schools and college outreach is actually their staff that work on the programs, their internal development has gone on so much that every single one of them that's worked on the programs that we run have gone on to bigger and better things. So the kind of internal development by doing something that's seen as an external problem has been huge. We talk about the talent pipeline, the skills pipeline all the time. And I must admit, there's a little bit of me that, oh, we all kind of we can be a little bit kind of laid back about the skills pipeline, like it's somebody else's job. It's the school's job, it's the teacher's job, it's the parents' job. It's a collective job, as far as I see it. We've all got a part to play in inspiring the next generation. The difficulty again, I think, with the pipeline, I suppose, is when you're employing people, you want to see results really fast. So a lot of companies and organizations work with the kind of older age group, when actually we should be spreading it across and doing that kind of inspiration piece as well. Um, why are we doing this? We could be cynical and say like it's good for our CSR reports. It's good for when we're bidding for contracts and stuff like that. Numbers are great. We reached 1,000 young people. Um, I'd also say yes, that's great, but I would, what's the impact? What are we doing? What are we doing to make a difference, make a shift? And when you're considering your own internal processes, are we doing something just for numbers? Because it's a big group of young people, and there's a place for that. There's a place for big events, but actually would we be better starting small and having a bigger impact with, either adopting a local school or a cohort, a smaller cohort of young people. um, there's something really good about collaboration, and I think it's twofold. Internally, if you can get your schools outreach collaborative collaborative across your internal departments with buy-in from senior leadership, that's the way, in my experience, that it works the best. Um, and then externally, working with other organizations, the game changers as an example, collectively from different size organizations, you can have a much bigger impact, and you can share best practice as well. One of the things that we're going to be concentrating on the kind of masterclasses and follow-up sessions is really hoping that you'll tell us what you want, and we can help support you guys with a collaborative effort at engagement. One of the things, the why, if we and this is nothing against our schools or our education systems. Our education is about passing exams, not necessarily preparing our young people for the real world. Our teachers do a great job, absolutely smashing job, but we can support them. We can support our teachers by telling them about pathways and routes into our organisations, and we can also support them from a curriculum basis as well. There's lots of amazing stuff that the Careers Hub have done around careers in the curriculum, and Jill might touch on that in a little bit. Joy, see, I'm getting Christmassy already. Joy, good news. And then I put brackets marketing. There's something about working with young people doing good stuff, that does give that kind of feel good factor. One of the things I don't think we've done enough of in our network, and I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a call to action, really, is sharing the good news of what we're all doing collectively. If you're on LinkedIn, have a look for some of the people that are on the chat. Join up, see what other people are doing, and maybe do give them a bit of a round of applause for like the things that they're doing with young people and schools, because there's so much fantastic stuff going on. Um, yeah, so get involved. As I say, I know we've got new people and people that have been here from the beginning, so I do apologise if I'm repeating myself, but we keep going back to 3 existing programs that are really easy to get involved with. They're on a plate. Now, I'm not going to talk about these for any length of time, but if you do want to get involved in any of these programs, just drop us a line and we can do a quick session to give you a more rounded bit of information on each one. I do laugh when we talk about careers and enterprise company enterprise advisors. Enterprise advisors are matched with a school, and they go in and talk to teachers. I don't want to say, if you don't like kids, this one's for you, because like we all like kids, don't we? So yeah, enterprise advisors is about talking strategically around careers. It's a fantastic role. You get a lot out of it. We've got the Liverpool City region, give an hour. Um, We hour is a loose hour. It could be half a day, or even a day. Where we've got schools already asking us for different things. So there's already loads of things on a plate that our Liverpool City Region schools and colleges are asking for, that you can go, yes, I can do that. I can give some time to go and support that. A more structured way of doing things is the STEM Ambassador Programme online platform. You get a DBS all sorted, lots of CPD and stuff in there, but another brilliant volunteer system, that is a national program as well. So I just wanted to give you the kind of, have I done that in maybe a little bit more than 10 minutes? I just want to kind of give you that flavour, that look back about what we've already achieved, a reminder of the why we're doing this, why we're doing this as a collective, and just a quick whistle stop on some stuff that you can get involved with. I'm going to pass over to Jill, who's having fun with Zoom today. And I'm going to jump on the chat, and I'll see if I've missed anything. Over to you, Jill.
Cheers. Thanks, Michelle, and morning everybody. Yeah, and I've finally got on Zoom, so that was a stressful time from 9:30 this morning, but we've got there anyway. So really warm welcome. And I know we're at November. We have recently, which you might be seeing with the new branding, but on the 1st of September, the Careers Hub actually moved into the Combined Authority. So with changes that are going on with the growth platform and the local enterprise partnerships nationally, it felt a really good time for us to actually integrate into the Combined Authority. We were already working really closely with the team, and that just really, I think, solidifies in terms of the way that we can actually start to engage and really, have more of an impact than what we have done previously. So slight difference in branding, but apart from that, really there are no changes, and hopefully you'll see no changes. So just to give you a bit of an update really on where we are this year. So you'll have seen this slide before again. We've retained our existing partnerships across the bottom there where they are supporting us. Obviously a lot of these companies that we're supported by, like the likes of Michelle today, is number of years of working within this industry. So it's great for us to actually collaborate together in terms of, what's happening, where we're seeing, any concerns, but also kind of, again, that sharing of best practice across our strategic partners as well. We're pretty much, we've got every single school and college now within Liverpool City Region actually working with us, which again is a great thing for us as well. So just moving on. So you'll have seen this towards the back end of last year for those that were with us last year, but these are our priorities that we've been working through, and you'll kind of see that they link through a lot of the work that we're going to be doing this year as well. Not a lot of change for us from what we've been doing previously, but certainly if you look under priority 2 there around quality experiences with employers for students, and now we're looking at teachers in a lot more. The way that we can actually support them, as Michelle mentioned before, because it's our teachers that are within the education system that need that kind of understanding of what's available, the changes that are coming in terms of industry, future growth sectors for us within Liverpool City Region. So we've got just as much of an important job to actually train our teachers and give them the information as much as we have, obviously, to share with our parents, and ultimately then obviously driving that through our students, through all the different experiences that we can provide as well. We've got a huge focus on amplifying vocational routes, so apprenticeships, technical and vocational routes. Again, apprenticeships, we're seeing a reduced amount of young people 16 to 18 going into apprenticeships. So why is that? How do we change that? And obviously we're working alongside the Combined Authority with how we can support that with our young people. And obviously the importance of T-levels and other vocational routes that have really been kind of, I suppose, ramping up really over quite a considerable amount of time now. And how do we ensure that our young people, our parents, our teachers actually know about a lot of the new qualifications and the new pathways that we've got. And some of those have got a great route in for students at any level as well. So it's not just about academic levels, but certainly for those young people that maybe just need that additional support to actually get them on that pathway. And then obviously, they can grow within that industry. We'll always have a focus on disadvantage, and that's disadvantage, free school meals, but also on some of our cohorts and maybe in some of the masterclasses this year, we'll share a little bit on when we talk about disadvantage. And and for some of our young people who haven't got what we would call a social capital at home, so they've not got people who are guiding them, supporting them, maybe don't have that kind of adult influence in their life, and actually we need to ensure that we're kind of giving those young people that additional support, but making sure that we're actually getting the opportunity to actually engage with them. So if they're possibly due to whatever reason not in school, how are we ensuring that they're still being reached and targeted as well? So there's a lot of focus around some of our disadvantage, but more around how we ensure that every young person is being given all of the information about all our pathways, about all our future industries. And we've obviously got some great growth sectors within our region as well, where the opportunities that's going to be out there in 3, 5, 10 years time is going to be huge. And that links us into priority 5 then, into what is it about our local economy? Some of the work we're doing with the game changers around the development of that as an industry for Liverpool City region, and the potential that there is there for our young people. So the next slide then just I suppose breaks that down really into the priority areas and some of the things that we'll talk about. So if you look under driving experience with employers, we've actually got some new employer standards that are launching on actually today. Gosh, it's the 7th of November. 7th of November today is the launch of the employer standards with Careers and Enterprise Company. And what that will do, and it's something that we will come back to and ensure that you've all got the information, is it's a tool as an employer that you can actually basically sort of take a self-assessment on what are you currently doing, what are you not doing, what you'd like to do, and it'll basically give you a report that's sort of, I suppose, gears you in terms of what your aspiration is as a company to be able to support and develop. It'll also allow you as well within that report to assess yourselves maybe within your own industry, and that can be locally, regionally and nationally. But it might be that you're thinking, well, we're already doing this work with young people, but actually, would it be worth as well considering doing something different or doing more of what you're doing? And you can look at other companies similar to yourselves and see exactly what is it that they're doing as well. So we're hoping that employer standards will be able to start to develop that. Our cornerstone employers that support me as a hub lead strategically have already gone through that pilot process, and I know that our cornerstones actually thought that it was really, really useful, and it's certainly something that we'll keep developing as we move through. But I think you'll see on there some of the key focuses that we've got for this year around teacher encounters at the bottom, our cornerstones, our apprenticeship and technical educational framework. So that kind of, I suppose, gears us to where we want to be this year. This was just a very quick summary, and I'm not going to go into it, but there on the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see there when we talk about inclusion, disadvantage, some of the key groups that we're really focused on as we're looking to develop future work. And on the right-hand side there, you'll see we get a small pot of additional funding, and we've got 3 areas that we're looking at this year. So positive destinations, very much focused on our alternative provision schools. So how is that transition for those young people? How are we engaging them? What kind of linkages there into further education, and being really quite bespoke with that, not so much on a one-to-one, but certainly in small group work to try and make sure that those young people who are already maybe got a challenge in terms of where they've been, is how do we ensure that we get them not just into any college and on any course, but actually something that they're truly passionate about, or potentially, it's where they think they want to be. I'll come back to experience in the workplace on another slide, but we're going to be doing quite a lot of work this year around getting more of our young people out into industry. And that'll be a great thing for our employer network to support with. And again, apprenticeship and technical education. And then just a couple of other things that we've obviously continuing on with our employer network this year. Again, from last year, it's been great for us to bring it all together, and obviously with the support of Michelle and her team. And we're coming to the end of our Effective Transition Fund, which was our Next Steps programme with our Year 10 boys. So we've been working with those for 2.5 years by the end of February. And we may have some exciting news coming down the line for some future funding as well on that. We have got some additional funding this year to look at experience of the workplace. So we are going to be looking at, we've got to focus on digital from that part of the funding. So we're going to be looking to do some work around with the game changers, with the gaming industry, but also looking at some focus around how we get more of our young people. A lot of them tell us that they want to be an engineer, but actually they don't really understand what that is. So we're trying to link that kind of the digital capability within advanced manufacturing and innovation. And then we've also got 2 new things that are coming. We are going to start to do some work with primary schools from next March. Not so much delivery, but more around how we actually support curriculum and a curriculum lead within the school, and how they are going to start to get some learning development with how that needs to be kind of brought through the primary, and how they can develop that through their curriculum. So that's going to be quite exciting for us to start to do some of that work. And we're also going to be doing a little bit more focus on with our independent training providers as well. And we're just one of 2 hubs that are actually picking that piece of work up for the Department for Education. So again, it's about how our young people are being supported through that information, advice and guidance. And then I've just put the Gatsby benchmarks in on there. So again, anybody who needs any more understanding, come and let us know. And then just moving on, then it's just a quick summary really of the employment and skills. So as Michelle's mentioned there, we've got the employer network, we've got our business advisors at the moment, our enterprise advisors, we've got about just over 130. So yeah, always looking for more willing volunteers. Given our up to summer last year, we had over 200 of you employers who actually looked at the list of opportunities that schools are wanting and actually went into schools and supported activities, mock interviews, career fairs, doing bespoke sessions in assemblies in a morning, talking about certain areas of different parts of the businesses. So that was an absolutely fantastic achievement, certainly coming out from COVID and what we'd previously done, but that was a huge volume that we did last year. So hopefully we can continue that on this year. And on the right-hand side there, our cornerstones who continue to support the hub. And again, I think a couple of them are on here this morning as well. So thank you for that. And then this is just just a bit further information, which I know the flyers there on the right-hand side for the employer network. But again, you'll see some of the focus work that we do around, and I know Leon's on the call today, a lot of the work that we're doing across NHS, but with health and social care, and some of the programs that we've been running for a number of years with them. And then also the work that we do within curriculum. So it's really important that we get our young people understand why they're learning what they're learning, and actually where it's going to actually be useful to them. And and that can actually, kind of, switch a light bulb on for some young people to think, actually, I really enjoy this in lesson. I could go and be X, or I could use this. And so we're just trying to develop more and more. And the great thing for us is if we've got local employers, actually it resonates more with our young people, because it's something they can, in a way, touch and feel. And potentially then as well, by doing that curriculum work, we're actually trying to get teachers to think more about actually getting them out into industry and go and see the workplace as well. Because for a lot of them, they've never done that. So there's a lot of focus on that. And obviously at the bottom there, the business consultation that we've been doing around the game changers. We're doing a lot of work around apprenticeship and technical education. And we're going to start to develop some work around clean growth, green skills as well, because there's obviously huge, and that cuts across all industries and sectors. And then finally, I think that's my last slide, was just to update on just the website, and there's a lot of information on there. So please visit it, and it's being updated as we're moving forward now with the combined authority. So I think that's my last slide.
Fab.
Back to you, Michelle.
Thanks, Jill. I must admit, one of the things that we have worked on over the last 12 months, um, again, we didn't think about it when when we first started, is people are coming into the network at different points. So there's a presumption that they understand acronyms or understand Gatsby benchmarks
Yeah.
or things like that. So what we've tried to do with the website as well is there is an employer section on that. All the previous links to all the previous masterclasses, all the quarterlies, somebody goes back and looks at recordings because we can see people are clicking on them. All the information is there. So if you want to retrospectively go back to anything that we've already covered, everything is in one place on the employer section. There's some nice easy reads around the Gatsby benchmarks and stuff like that. So when people are joining the network, and again, tell your friends. We'll send the updated flyer out with the follow up of this session. When people are signing up now, we're pushing them in that direction as well to try and kind of upskill and make sure that we're all kind of on the same page. Next, on your screens, you should have an outreach and engagement poll. And our question is, or our couple of questions are, have you engaged with any schools or colleges in the Liverpool City region in the past 12 months? And there's an option if it's outside the Liverpool City region. And then what sort of activities have you taken part in, if any? I'll give you just a little minute. Some people are going, "Oh, I've done so much, like it'd take me ages to write it all down." It's also okay to say no. No, I haven't done anything. That's okay too. The idea of having our network is to help support you in engagement in the Liverpool City region. Oh, a few people are going off patch. That's okay. We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
We're all friends in our different hubs in the north. We have a great strong team, just so you all know.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
like to we like to collaborate
yeah.
and share best practice.
We do, but we also like to show off as well. Um, do like to show off about the amazing work that's going on in our region. Um, okay, shall we have a little look at what people have done? So it's brilliant. Most people are doing something. That's fab. Whether that be mostly in the Liverpool City region or externally. Gemma, can you see what some of the answers are? I can't see that.
I need to just go onto a different web page. Give me 2 little seconds.
Oh, sorry, I'm causing
So don't
chaos.
worry, it shows up dead weird. If I have one complaint for Zoom, it's these fancy polls don't show up properly. I'll just read out some people's answers. There's quite a lot of the same sort of thing here. So someone said they've done STEM activities, doing things specifically in Careers Week, like mock interviews and CV writing. Lots of people have said careers fairs, careers events, careers talks. Someone else has mentioned that they've done talks, tours of their site, master classes, and interview preparation. We've got one of the lovely game changers here as well, because they've mentioned that. Another couple of people have mentioned parent and carer coffee mornings, which is great to hear. Supported internship information, lots and lots of different events and different types of activities that people have mentioned.
Fab. Fab. Okay, so that's amazing. Now, one of the things that we wanted to do, the whole kind of idea of getting us collectively together, was to share this best practice. So you've all had the chance to have a little think, and thanks so much for sharing. I'm going to stick us in a couple of breakout rooms, just to give you the opportunity to maybe expand a little bit more on the stuff that you've done, whether and whether it's changed in the last year. I'm hoping these sessions have helped. People are still coming back. That's a good sign. And has anything worked? Like specifically, is there something that you've gone right that has worked really well for us as a team or for you as an individual? And the flip side of that is something, not worked. Because obviously it's good to learn from that as well. Gemma, I'm presuming you're going to flyers into rooms. Jill, can you manage your room and I'll manage my room, and then we can boast.
See you all soon. I can see you trying to chat, Michelle, but you are on mute. Sorry.
I was just going to say, Jill's still talking in her room, isn't she? She's not pressing that button. She's not coming back.
We'll see them start trickling back in a minute, hopefully.
I was just saying we do a nice session around how to talk to an 8-year-old. Language is so important.
Absolutely. And I think as well, people don't realise, I think, until you really start to break it down when you know we done the training and it was actually with the London STEM Ambassador Hub. I think even we were all like, oh, we do lots of these things that they're telling us not to do. You don't realise until they actually make you break down what you're saying. Just how filled with jargon it is.
Yeah. I love someone pulling me up and I'm going like, I'm the expert on this, and I've threw an acronym in, just like casual acronym dropping that nobody understands. Okay, so we should have everybody back in the room now. I'm going to give you a 2-minute highlight on my room, and then Jill, I'll hand over to you.
Yeah.
Couple of people, really good feedback. Again, really, really positive. It's made me smile this morning. Sometimes like we do these things and you don't necessarily see the impact straight away. General consensus is that these sessions are helping reach. So we're reaching more schools and colleges, or schools and colleges that we haven't been to before. And it's a great network for getting information out. And I kind of wanted to remind people about that as well. As I say, there's 35, 40 people on these types of calls, but people have signed up for the network for a reason. We always said you don't have to come to every session. There's recordings if you need it, there's follow-up if you need it. It's also a channel for us to share best practice and get our stuff out there as well. Lots of good stuff happening. Big nod to the game changers again. Spoke about language internally to help convince internally the powers that be how important schools and college outreach is, and then it's not just a nice to do. And we also, I was just highlighting that there's other things that we can do around language internally as well. We might run a how to speak to a 8-year-old session as well. Just engagement, everybody wants a little bit more. One of our colleges was shouting about getting more employers to the careers fair, and again that's kind of another reason for the network. So all good.
Shall I give you my summary?
Yes,
From
please.
our group. So yeah, we had a few points raised in our group. So one of them was around primary school work and how excited our young people are in primary. And then maybe slightly when we go into secondary, you maybe don't get quite the same reaction, and obviously depending on who that is, but some of the young people maybe seem quite uninterested. And then I'll come on to something else around pre and post work. But I think that's a fair representation, I think, of what you will find the difference between doing primary and secondary work. But there are things that we can do in terms of trying to obviously to make that better. And I think there was some really good points from Melissa around some of the things that she's seen slightly different this time around career fairs, in having a late afternoon where they've actually done some parental work, so parents were actually brought into or could attend the careers fair at the end of the day. And that obviously is a great way for us to actually be able to encourage our parents to come in and talk to employers as well, and also around mock interviews. So it's a way for you to be supporting young people about their skills and about how they need to adapt, how they need to be in an interview. But then also you might be able to then actually touch on your industry as well. So a couple of different things there. And then I think the final thing we spoke about was around about maybe how our young people are prepared for this type of work, and how do you make sure that the the young people I suppose are being given the information that they need if they've not decided on where their career choice is. So we talked a little bit around that pre and post work, and around how, you know, our young people should be being prepared for these sessions, making it more meaningful under Gatsby, and also post work afterwards. So and I think that's maybe something for the network. We're always talking around how, as I think as employers, if a school asks you to go in to do something, that there needs to be some kind of minimum standards in a way, so that when you do turn up to do something, they're actually those young people have been prepared and are ready for you to come in to that classroom. So I do think there's kind of, I think that's the position that we sit in the middle, is the way that we can prepare both teachers for running these sessions, but also from an employer perspective on how we can ensure that you're getting the best out of it as well. So a little bit of give and take on both sides, I think. So I think that's a summary of our group. Michelle.
Fab, thanks very much. Okay, I've just, oh, and another question. Okay, so what's our question? Oh, right. This one's not going to come up in the screen because you're going to write a long answer. I maybe need to warn you that you're going to have to kind of work for the network when you come along to these sessions. What would you find useful or like us to cover in future meetings? We're going to send this out to all of the people signed up in the network as well. If you've got any ideas for masterclasses, if you've got anybody you'd like to hear from in one of the quarterly meetings, if there's any training or CPD or anything that you've heard from anybody else that you'd like us to cover. The idea is that this network was to support you and the stuff that you're doing. So I'm just going to leave that up for maybe another minute just to see what people can say. And if you haven't got time to type in this, we will be following up as well. And don't feel if you don't say something today that you can't say it in the future either. We have a real mix of people in the network as well. You know, we've got people who engage from a college perspective. We've got employers that sit within HR. We've got employers that sit and do this as something extra. So there's a lot of different people with a lot of different kind of wants and needs out of the network. We will do our best to try and deliver as many supportive sessions as possible. And as I said earlier, if there's something in any of these sessions that just you go, right, I just really want to learn a little bit more about that tiny little bit, just let us know, and it will either be we can have a meeting with me or Gemma or Jill, or we'll pass it on to somebody else in the network, whoever will be the most useful, really. Now, what we've decided to do at the end of these sessions, just the last couple of minutes, is just do some little shout outs, some little highlights of things that are going on. We've got the lovely Churundi on the call. Hugh Baird College is doing a STEM Fest on the 6th of December, and they're looking for people to help support celebrating the incredible advancements of research and real-world applications of STEM. It's going to be a whole day session. It is in 4 weeks' time. So if anybody can support, Churundi, could you just pop your email in the chat? You can, and we'll make sure. We'll make sure we'll pass that on, and we will pass it on to people in the follow-up session as well. Some other things we've got. Isn't that on the next one, Gemma? Am I making that up?
Imagine the slide, but if you just give me 2 little seconds. For those of you who aren't already part of the Give an Hour campaign as well, I would highly recommend getting yourself signed up. There is lots and lots of opportunities. The lovely Charlotte, I think, circulates an email just about every month of all the different things that are out there, and there's quite a mix. Got lots of the things that you would expect, things like careers talks, mock interviews, loads and loads of different things that are going on there. So just having a quick look, for example, the Academy of St Francis of Assisi have something on the 1st of December or the 8th of December, which is mock interviews, and you would be expected to chat to those year 11 students. So that's one of the examples of a type of activity that we would say is really high impact, to give them something practical to go away and to work on. So if you are available for that sort of thing between now and Christmas, the end of the year as well, please give us a shout and we'll pass you on to the Given Hour team. As we said, it's not always an hour. It tends to be a bit longer, but there's lots and lots of different things that are available. So if you don't already get that email, let us know.
Yeah, totally. One of the things we've tried to do with the network as well is to put things on a plate, make things really easy. Schools are asking us for things all the time. We really wanted to get away from employers phoning up a school reception to try and get involved. We can help kind of sit in the middle of that with the wider group. Just some dates for your diaries to keep us on time. Our next masterclass is at 11 o'clock on the 7th of December. We've touched on it a little bit today, but we're going to talk more about high impact engagement around how it's the kind of broad brush stuff versus the high impact stuff. Our next meeting is going to be our next quarterly meeting is going to be on the 11th of January. Can't believe we're talking about January, crackers. And then in February, in Apprenticeships Week, we are going to be talking about apprenticeships in the Liverpool City region. See what we did there. So they're dates in your diaries. We have modified the way we are getting in touch as well. So we're putting the dates of everything in your diary as calendar invites as well, just to make sure we get them slots in. But as always, continue the conversation, keep talking to us. Thanks so much. And report back from Sefton. The rain stopped and the sunshine is coming out. So that's all good. Thanks so much for your time. As I say, you know where we are if you want to continue the conversation. If not, we'll see you at the next masterclass, next quarterly. If there's someone within your organisation you want to pass that on to as well, doors are open. Everyone's welcome. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Take care.
Thanks.